Next. Okay, so we're going to go into some logic now. And this logic is critical, so you really have to relax. Some people think that this is oversimplification, but it's not. We start off with a foundation of saying, we believe in natural laws. In other words, a natural law is gravity. If I release this, run 100 tests, it will fall and end up on the floor 100 times. What is the probability when I release this on one of the 100 tests that the bottle will remain right here and not fall? There should be no probability of that. Anything that's governed by natural law has only one outcome. And in this instance, it will fall to the floor. We believe that natural laws are always there. Even before they were discovered, they were there. Which means that natural laws are discovered and not created. The most important thing in this procurement, where this factors in, is if any of the vendors are trying to override natural law, the risk is going to go up, the cost is going to go up, and they're not going to be successful. Now, for example, what is a natural law? A natural law is when the client does this, the risk goes up, the cost goes up, the time goes up. When somebody does this as a boss, the risk goes up, the cost goes up, and we have more confusion. How about when the worker does this? Well, this is also not a good thing. And this is the reason. If a worker starts passing information to their boss, the need for their boss to think more, does that increase or decrease? Increases. And when the boss thinks more, sooner or later the boss is going to have to make a decision. Then the boss is going to have to turn around and tell everybody what to do. Which means the only people who understand natural laws and can see into the future, the only people who do this are people who want to increase the risk of their boss and actually get them fired sooner or later because they're going to make a decision. Okay, now, we have two very experienced partners working on a project, and we compare it with two very inexperienced partners. Which ones communicate more between each other? The very experienced or the very inexperienced? It's the inexperienced. So the natural law is a manifestation of inexperience, of trouble, of non-transparencies when people start to do too much of what? This. So in actuality here, if the vendor now is forcing the client to start thinking and making decisions, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. This is a change of paradigm. Right? The vendors have to know what the answer is, know why, and make it dominantly clear what's going on. For example, something like this is simple. When it's simple, everyone understands it. Do we have to think more or think less when everybody understands it because it's so simple? Less. Think less. Therefore, a true expert who knows what they're doing in this job will make it simple, will not force anybody to think and make decisions, but it'll be dominantly clear that they have the expertise to do the job. This creates transparency. In this type of situation, where transparency, everyone can understand it because the expert has made it simple, which means non-technical. Does the client have to trust the vendor more or less? Okay, wait a minute here. Let's use this simple example with the bottle and gravity. When it's simple like this, does everybody have to think more or think less? Less. Do we have a need now to know somebody else in the room, right? To try to understand something that's very simple. There's no need, right? How about the need to trust anybody else in the room to understand something as simple as this? There's no need. So what I'm saying is, when the expert is truly an expert, They can see into the future. They create transparency. There is minimal need for anybody to trust anybody else. Does everybody understand that? The need to trust goes up. Transparency goes up or down. When the need to trust goes up, the transparency goes down. In other words, when transparency goes up, the need to trust goes what? Down. And that's what we call transparent. Everybody understands. We don't need to think. It's simple. This is the key behind this whole process. If you send people who immediately start talking technical that requires an expert on the client side, your chances of winning this goes up or down? Down. That is the most important thing to understand. Right? And I've found out over 20 years of doing this, it's impossible to trick a client who just remains simple.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more content. If you have any questions about the best value approach or for Dr. Dean, leave them in the comment section below and we'll get to them in a later video. Thanks, we'll see you next time.